self-dependent, self-reliant, natural ways. So many of our natural ways and many aspects of our natural being are more intuitive. And faith is closely connected with our intuition. Okay. Well, some portion of intuition may lead us wrongly, some part rightly, but when intuition flows through right time, place, situation, atmosphere, it is right, mostly right. Well, on the mundane, this plane of mundane existence is always mixed up with good and bad, right and wrong. Okay, everything is not perfect over here. That's why it is mundane world. That makes the difference between mundane world and the world of perfection. Plane of perfection, world divine. Okay, because here, the mundane plane of existence, so much limitations, so much misapplications, illusions, delusions, also there besides the scope of receiving the realistic knowledge and wisdom, and we can also engage the great scope of engaging in higher spiritual practices, divine practices, and we can go forward, we can make so much advancement. So both scopes are here on this mundane plane. Yet, this is not the plane of perfection. Our ultimate program is to go out of this plane, go beyond, and march towards, take journey towards the plane of perfection, universe, world of perfection, world of perfection, of eternal beauty, qualities, taste, nectarine, consciousness, realization about the Supreme Absolute God, Supreme Absolute Divine Reality, which is called as Krishna. By one of the endeared names, beloved names, we call the Supreme Personality of that Supreme Reality, Supreme Truth as Krishna. And that same Supreme Absolute Reality is realized in three aspects. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti shabdati, as explained by Shukadev Goswami through that verse. Badanti tattvavidang stattang yajjnanam advayam Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti shabdati, from Srimad Bhagavatam. The greatly wise persons who can see into, who has started seeing into the truth, feeling, realizing into the truth of life, higher truths of life, they can experience about relating to the Supreme Absolute Being, the Supreme Absolute personality of all divine truth in this threefold ways. Some relate to the path of Brahman realization, more through the path of impersonal conception, impersonal energy, wonderful energy, to relate to me because I am the source of all that universal energy, whether material energy or life energy or spiritual energy, but I am the source, I am the origin. So if anyone follows the path of spiritual energy, though impersonal way, yet they can connect with me through that path. They can relate to me in more energy form, impersonal energy form. That is, Brahmeti, that is the path of realization about me, realizing me through Brahma. Then Paramatmeti. So Gyanis, those who want to understand, relate to me through more knowledge, to the aspect of knowledge and consciousness only. They are called Gyanis. So, they follow that path, that of Brahmeti, then Paramatmeti. Their other class, they are called yogis. Yogis. They relate to me, connect with me through in-depth meditations. Not just only jnanam, not just with the help of only consciousness, knowledge, but they want to feel about me through in-depth thought, through the deep thinking of me with some attachment, deep thoughts of me, thinking of me with some attachment, and be absorbed in meditations. And they can connect with me as super soul, Paramatma. Their soul gets united, becomes united with me as super soul, within and without them. They can feel into my existence as super soul within them, without, all around, into my all-pervading omniscience, all-pervading existence, omniscience, omnipresence. And they feel, those Gyanis and these yogis all feel so happy, so joyful with my realization in this way. And finally, my devotees follow the path of love, okay? A pure love in relation to me. Bhagavan iti sabdati. And ultimately, the other class who are my devotees, devoted lovers, they ultimately see a great personality of mine, okay, in this as manifestation, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipresent, all-pervading manifestation of the superpower, my existence of superpower. So, while my devotees see great personality in it, and they worship me, connect with me, relate to me in the personal form of personality, that of infinite nature, infinite character, because on this mundane world, we have got, human conception of the personality is so limited. We consider, Supreme God is a person? No, cannot be. Because, personality is so limited. Conception of individual personality is so limited. That's the concept of the personality we have. Therefore, we never feel like realizing him as personality. We attribute, ascribe, impose all our limited concept of human personality on God and try to think about. That's wrong in the first place. Supreme God has the personality, that of infinite character, infinite nature, imbued, characterized with infinite aspects, qualifications, beauty, taste. That is the conception of the personality of God. So when Srila Swami Prabhupada Ji Maharaj, our Guru Varga, says Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have to understand in that sense. Supreme Personality means supreme personality of infinite divine characteristics, aspects, beauty, taste, realizations. So, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti sabdati. So finally, class of the devotees worship me, relate to me in personal form through their unalloyed, pure love. But in the path of their love worship in relation to me, the divine knowledge, consciousness, path of Brahma realization, through more impersonal energy, aspects, the path of meditations, Paramatma, they all come together, they all become combined with the path of loving devotion to relate with me. It's not that the path of loving devotion to relate to me remains separate from, that of knowledge or path of more consciousness, impersonal energy, the path of realization through impersonal energy, or the path of meditation, but they all come together with, they get united, become united with path of devotional love, devoted love of mine. That's the best one, best path. Because nothing can make us fulfilled, nothing can truly make us fulfilled without the taste of the bliss of love, joy, without the taste of loving bliss in our life. Ultimately, all we are looking for, searching after, is happiness, joy, bliss and bliss. There cannot be any different opinion about this. It's universal opinion. Everybody is searching for great happiness, higher happiness and joy, ecstasy, bliss in life. And that can be only found in full-fledged way in love of God. In love of God, love of Krishna. That is the power of love of Krishna, power of love for Krishna. So, until and unless you have that feelings, that treasure, invaluable treasure in your life, the taste of divine love, joy, taste of divine joy in love with God, taste of divine bliss in love with God, your life remains unfulfilled. You cannot taste the perfection, or at least, relatively, perfection is perfection, so there is no end. There is no end to be perfect. We can eternally continue to be perfect and perfect and perfect. Even the relative point experience, relative point of the experience about perfection is also felt as perfection. Such is the character of the infinite. Such is the character, nature of even the part of the infinite. That also feels to be, I am having beautiful, perfect knowledge, perfect realization, although more to have still. It's like, realization is like when you are into the ocean, although you are not covering the whole ocean, but you are still connected to the whole ocean. So when we get connected with the infinite, divine infinite, although we cannot cover the whole infinite in our life, but still we are connected. We become connected we are in touch with the infinite. Touching a part of the infinite, but that part is connected to the whole infinite. So in that way, we are connected to the infinite. At the same time, we are not covering the whole. Happening both at the same time. So, it started with the verse explanation of Shatang prasangan mama virja sangvidu bhavanti hrit karna rasayana katham. When the devotees engage in listening and hearing about my topics, about my divine glories, beauty, or attributes, characteristics, lila, about the nature of their relationship, beloved relationship with me, lila, then cannot but be. There will be some subtle benefits received by them, whether or not we directly realize. From that point, I started explaining all this. But it always causes benedictions, great benedictions. Brings us so much benefits. It develops you, helps you blossom. Blossoming in relation to me while you are engaging in hearing and chanting, singing my glories, my divine beauty, as taste and aspects, my lila. So, have total faith in it. It never goes in vain. Never take it casually. Okay, as a part of your duty, as a part of your so many duties, just to come and attend Harikatha class, just to come and attend the programs about my glories, about the narration of my glories, my topics. It is invaluable. It is so much valuable. It can bring invaluable benefits in your life. In a subtle way, have that deep faith, belief. Then you will be so much benefited. And at some point, when you begin your taste to be engaged in Hritkarna Rasayana Katha, like this, when you begin to have the taste, nectarian taste of the nectarian topics of mind, it's like elixir. Hritkarna Rasayana Katha means topics which has nectarian elixir, works like elixir in your life divine. Tonic, great health tonic, elixir. Rasayana Katha. As you cultivate your life divine, higher spiritual life, devotional life, with that deep faith in hearing and singing my glories and relating with me through that, in the association of the saints, pure devotees, hearing and singing my glories in association, holy association of my great devotees, then in a slow but steady way, all the negative things of your life, all the sights of faults and negative stops and harmful things in your mundane being life will slowly take leave, go away, little by little, you will be more and more purified. Okay? Coming on the higher level of the goodness, coming up on the higher level of higher goodness in relation to me, it happens. Believe in it. That is a great sadhana. Sadhana means that. So, in relation to the, in connection with the yesterday's topic, power of love for Krishna, such a beautiful topic you have chosen. Today, I would also like to relate to that great, beautiful question, wonderful, a question full of wonders, wonderful question. Yes, we can understand to some extent, realize to some extent about the power of love for Krishna. I repeat, the power of love for Krishna. But how to love Krishna? Okay, how to be awakened with some taste of love for Krishna? It doesn't always happen. It doesn't happen, okay, we don't directly feel it in our day-to-day life. So, the answer, the Holy Scriptures, the great sadhus, already answered to this question in various ways, but central, also in a central way. That is, there are several ways of cultivating devotion, loving devotion in relation to Krishna. But the main, central way, which combines all other aspects, all other ways, like big highway, to reach our goal, is that being situated in holy association of the sadhus, great devotees, be always engaged in hearing and chanting, singing about my glories, what I've just explained, my divine glories containing my transcendental beauty and characteristics, my lila, and always be engaged, absorbed in my devotional service, whatever way being possible for you. Talk to your being, talk to yourself. Always have some self-motivations. Divinely be self-motivated to love me, to feel some love for me. Okay? Just as in our world, we always continue to motivate ourselves in various ways. Consciously motivate ourselves, I must do it. I should do it. Don't be lazy, don't be casual. This is my goal. I must achieve this target, this goal. And so, functions of self-motivations, the functions of self-motivations always go on in our life in different ways, different forms. So, you also be motivating yourself in relation to me instead of remaining casual and passing the time. Okay. So being in the holy association of the higher sadhus, higher sense, while absorbing, engaging in my consciousness through hearing about my topics, by chanting, singing my glories, trying to feel into my glories, into my divine characteristics in a conscious way, without becoming casual. Okay, trying to be very sincerely be motivated to relate to me, trying to motivate yourself to relate to me in love. Okay, some taste. Then at some point, you will definitely start feeling some genuine love of mine, although in a glimpse form. Okay, but it will start. How it will start, when, which way, you never know. Okay, but that principle should be, the principle of cultivation must be there. God helps those who help themselves. We must try to help ourselves, following these ways of cultivations with all sincerity with all our sincerity to good to our own self, to bring good to our own selves through holy motivations. Okay, very sincere motivations, trying to motivate ourselves. Such trying, such continued tryings and efforts, endeavors with all our sincerity will turn into success at some point. Just as we do many things on this world, in the beginning, it remains as trying, just trial. We don't receive success, receive goal then and there, as soon as we go for it. We have to start. We have to start at a point. So we have to start with everything on the phase of trial, with trying, endeavoring for it. Then, as we stay in the process, go forward with our continued trying and trying, making effort, endeavors, it slowly takes form of success, receiving. And then we become successful. And there is no end of becoming successful in life. The world of success also. The world of success in relation to the infinite also. That of infinite character. So, starting to have little bit success means we are just tasting it. We have to go, infinitely advance forward. Okay, with so much feelings of wonders, beautifully mystical wonders, heart and mind filled with beautiful mystical wonders and experiences in relation to the supreme, infinite, divine truth, whom we can relate to in life in a very close, intimate way through loving devotion, not only through path of knowledge or meditation, but also through the path of loving devotion, in which all our knowledge divine, all our life knowledge, all the knowledge and wisdom of all life, all the spirit of meditation get combined in the love feelings. Because the real love is the great meditation. Okay, nothing can help us to be absorbed in in-depth meditation other than love. Strong, intense love, pure love. Love means a continued meditation. We love to be in the world of beautiful love consciousness, bliss of love, in relation to the supreme divine truth, Krishna, who is the infinite source, infinite embodiment, personification of all power, beauty, and love bliss. And joy of love, joy of bliss. Satchidananda Vigraha, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadi Radhir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam, Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Look at me. I am the sum total. I am the sum total. I am the combination, embodiment of Sat Chit Anandam, all eternal truth, eternal consciousness, or knowledge about your being, about whole life and universe, everything. And Anandam, divine ecstasy. So I am the source, origin, and personification of all eternal truth, eternal knowledge, and life consciousness, eternal bliss. Bliss divine, transcendental bliss of love of mine. And love of mine in relation to you, of your love in relation to me, through reciprocation. Love means it is not without reciprocation. It's not one-sided. So when we talk about love of God, it means it is full-fledged conception of love of God, which is containing within love reciprocation, full love relation, full-fledged world of love relationship, which is filled with reciprocation between the Supreme Beloved and beloved devotees, between Supreme Lord and His pure devotees, pure lovers. So it's a world of reciprocative love, love pastimes. Therefore it's world of divine love pastimes. Much beyond or above only some kind of impersonal love feelings through impersonal energy form. That is also included within the world of love feelings. Through impersonal energy form, as we experience like sentiments, beautiful sentiments, emotion. In the beginning, it is felt as in impersonal energy form type. But as it goes forward, as it can be intensified, at some point, every energy form of emotion, all our energy form of emotions or high-class loving sentiments can be manifesting in the form of activities, direct relational activities, which is found in the transcendental pastimes of Radha Krishna with the devotees. So what happens, the activities on the plane of Goloka, original Goloka Vrindavana, activities, the transcendental pastimes on the plane of the transcendental abode Goloka Vrindavana, on that plane of perfection, on that world of divine lila, of divine couple, all actually directly represent all that bliss, energy of the bliss, of love of Krishna Radhika, into forms, personal forms. For example, like pastimes like Raso dance festival, Jhulana festivals, Dol Purnima festival, festival of color of love, festival, Dol Purnima Hindolo festival representing the festival of love colors, beauty, wonderful, beautiful, different colors of love, like throwing the love on each other. So they're not just some external kind of ritual activities or some objective actions. But those objective actions become totally one with the subjective feelings, intense subjective feelings of intense love, bliss. So emotions, sentiments, and all the activities. I have to use the language like the internal. See, our language also limited. So, but I have to somehow express. You will understand in proper sense. So their internal devotional feeling, the internal feelings of love, sentiments of love, emotions of love towards Krishna Radhika. And the external activities, the ways to relate, to manifest, relate their love to the divine couple. I mean, between divine couple and Brajagopis, between Krishna and Radhika. They actually become one together. Internal feelings, emotions, sentiments, and external actions that of singing, dancing, hugging each other, looking at each other, tasting each other unlimitedly in love divine, become unified together, non-different, in achinta bheda. So, therefore, there is no real difference between the transcendental form of Krishna and the heart of Krishna. Inside or outside, there's no real difference. But we have that difference is only found on the mundane plane of limitations. There's some difference, although they are also connected together, subject or object. Our objective existence and subjective existence also connected together here on this plane also. But still some difference is there. On transcendental plane, they become so united. So the lila activities and the feelings of sentiments and emotion relating to those lila activities all are one, non-different there. Within, without, all. Perfection of our being, perfection of realization. Everything is realized there. Not just understood, not just, there is no question of feeling anything casually, like formally, without taste, but just opposite. Everything is so felt with taste and tasteful realization, blissful realizations, form and life, all coming together and being one being. One unified divine being without difference, total union. Although some inexplicably some separation is being maintained, otherwise unity will not be possible. When everything becomes totally one, function of unity, taste of union may not be possible. So inexplicably, unthinkably, some separation is there to promote the union, to promote the reciprocation. Yet, that is wonderfully inconceivable, but it's happening. But this is it. Mahaprabhu spoke about it, achinta bheda bheda. His character is simultaneously one and distinct, and that is unthinkable. It is happening. How it is happening, don't try to conceive it. It is inconceivable, but it's happening. Whether or not you can comprehend about it, conceive of it fully, but it's happening. Advaya Jnanam, that is called Advaya Jnana Brajendra Nandanam. Advaya Jnanam about Brajendra Nandanam Krishna. So back to the point. So when we become sincerely motivated to love Krishna, at least we try, to the best of our sincerity, we keep on trying to love Krishna, Krishna Radhika. Again and again, this trying should not be temporary, like waves in the ocean. Waves in the ocean, one after another. When we continue to be trying with utmost sincerity, as best as possible, trying to love Krishna, trying to love Krishna Radhika, Mahaprabhu. And when it is not coming, complaining, lovingly complaining to them, why taste is not coming, Lord? Please make me taste, help me, please bless me. You are so kind, merciful Lord. I know taste of your love, taste of your real love is invaluable. I don't deserve it. But still, please don't forget, I am none other than an infinitesimal part and parcel of you. I am not other than a small part and parcel of you, my Lord. So I deserve in that way. I do deserve, maybe small way, but definitely because I am none other than your part and parcel. I am your energy. For some reason or other, forgetting yourself to enjoy my freedom, enjoy the freedom of my life, to enjoy a life being separate from you out of strong, intense curiosity. Oh, I came away from you. I make myself limited. Okay, so I misused my free will. Due to that misuse of my free will, you endowed me with. You already endowed me with in the first place. I feel I temporarily came away from you, separated, became separated parts and particle. But again, I want to be established. I want to discover myself. I want to realize of myself in intimate love relation with you, in the relation of eternal love services to you. So please, let me wake up, my Lord. Let me wake up with that consciousness, with that feelings of your love taste, love relationship. So while we continue to engage in such prayers and actively through some divine self-motivations, we actively try to feel some taste of love of Krishna. It will definitely happen at some point. Kabe habe bolo, sedino amar. We need to have that hope, asha bandha hridi, need to have a heart filled with that quality of hope. One day it will happen. As long as I sincerely continue to cultivate my devotional life of devotional service in relation to the Supreme, the Lordship's divine couple, Supreme, beautiful, absolute Lord. So it will happen. It will happen. None of my devotional endeavors, godly endeavors to relate to Supreme God in love will go in vain. I repeat, none of my such endeavor, devotional endeavor will go in vain. It will be fruitful. It will be fruitful at some point through my sadhana. Sadhana means through vidhi marga and raga marga. Both must be combined. Both have great utility. But sadhana or sadhana through vidhi marga has the ultimate aim of doing the sadhana through raga marga. We have to understand it. Not targeting, not aiming to be living our whole life only through vidhi marga sadhana, but with some natural loving sadhana, through natural loving sadhana, love services with some taste, beyond just casual, formal ways, only vidhi marga. So that is our target. Our goal must be that. It will happen. At some point it will happen. That is the promise of Supreme Lord to us. Na me bhakta pranashati. I respond. At some point I come forward to respond to my devotees. My devotees never perish. I take care. I do take care of my true devotees, sincere devotees. Don't have any doubt, no doubt about it. Whether you directly feel or understand about it, but no. I repeat, whether or not you directly feel or know or experience about it, how I am taking care of you, my devotees, but still it's happening. I take care of you. I always take care of my devotees in different ways, sometimes through the ways of their trial period, sometimes in very happy, beautiful, positive ways. So, both ways are found in the lives of my devotees. Sometimes, in order to make them like elite commandos, I send many tests to make them more powerful and stronger with higher level of devotion, devotional power, so that it doesn't easily break. So that it's not fragile type, not weak type of devotion in relation to me, but it has to be more strong and more powerful. So your devotion towards me may pass through different tests at different stages of life in order to test the quality of devotion, how strong, how solid, how genuine it is, whether it is so fragile, it is easily breakable, gone away, or it is steady and more powerful, more deep and powerful. For that reason, some tests appear. Devotees have to pass through certain tests in their life. When I find, when their devotion towards me is found, pass through the tests is found strong, more steady and powerful, even passing through many upheavals, adversities, and hard times of life, still they maintain faith, great respect and faith, devotion towards me. Then I come forward with great reciprocations of giving so much to that devotee. Bless that devotee with so much of my wealth, of my treasure. I come forward. So, don't you worry much. Don't lose heart while you are passing through tests. Look into the great lives also. What to speak more of the ordinary lives, ordinary common lives of devotion, as we also look into the great lives of great devotion. So find many great saints, pure devotees also had to pass through in their life through different upheavals, adversities, negative experiences, some so-called bad experiences. I'm calling it so-called bad experiences negative because they are devotees. But ultimately, they passed through it and they won the victory. That makes the difference between ordinary life and great lives. Great lives never succumb. They never collapse. And we are needed to follow in their footsteps. We cannot follow in the ordinary footsteps of the ordinary lives. We are needed, greatly needed to follow in the footsteps of the great lives who passed through and won the victory, became so glorious with so much divine victory in their lives. Telling us, don't be disheartened, don't be disappointed. It's a training period to make you stronger, more powerful, to make your devotion more qualified, more steady, which never sways away, which never, how do you say? Which never goes away or tossing, fluctuates on the face of some difficulties. And as soon as you are faced with some difficulty, all faith in God gone. All love of God is just gone because I don't believe in you. You are not helping me immediately. So such type of quality of devotion or faith is not qualified to deserve my attention, okay, to receive my connection. You need to give something to me, quality. Quality self-giving is required. So again, in order to test the quality of devotion, sometimes test appears. Not all the time, sometimes it happens. To make us like elite commandos. Very austere training, but they gain something. When ordinary soldiers cannot do anything, when ordinary soldiers cannot help other lives, elite commandos can do. Because they're trained up in that way. Like winning the medals in Olympic game. You know, those Olympians have to pass through such hard training period, austere training period. Sometimes they cannot take it, they misunderstand their coach. So becoming so cruel and unkind to me. Okay, making me train up so hard, making me train up so in such painful way. But all that pains, all that negative experiences of austerity, pain during the training period are simply converted into joy when they win medals, when they win success in the Olympics field. Then they remember, they think back, they remember all their experience of the austerity during training period simply turned into joy, converted into great satisfaction because they earned it, earned this victory, success. Somewhat like that is. I'm giving you some examples to give you some idea. These mundane examples cannot explain everything about what we're talking and discussing, but it gives us some idea. So, devotees should never be disheartened, be disappointed at all on the face of some temporary adversities or hard times. They have come to make me stronger, take it in a more positive, with positive frame of mind, with positive spirit, going through some elite commando training. And then at some point they will go away. I'll become stronger, more powerful in my devotional relation with Krishna, life of divine service to Krishna. Okay. I will be awarded so much. At that time, I will be blessed with so much. At that time, when training period complete. But of course, it doesn't necessarily mean everybody will have to go through all the austere training. It is not like that. But sometimes, time to time, some test can appear. They will go. This is included in the process of sadhana, life of sadhana, before achieving the level of perfection. Divine perfection. So, especially on this mundane world, on this mundane plane, it is mixture of good and bad, bad and good. It's a mixture of tests and achievement, mixture of temporary failures and success. Again, failures doesn't necessarily mean it is eternal. It is temporary. It is coming. Anything is born will die. Except for divine Krishna consciousness, our love for Krishna, everything is born will die one day. So not to worry. Hard time came. It will stay for a while. I need to survive with higher spiritual ability, with higher ability, higher faith, okay, and higher faith in Supreme God, okay, in Supreme Divine Truth, and try my best to help myself while I am having deep faith in Supreme God that I will be taken care of, okay, I will be protected ultimately, I will be surviving, I won't get lost. At the same time, I should also help myself with the same power and knowledge and intelligence. I repeat, with same intelligence, knowledge and power, life power, which is already given by Supreme Lord within me. I should try to utilize that, all these qualities within me already given by the Supreme Creator, utilize them to the best, help myself while praying, having full faith in the care of Supreme God. At some point, He will take care of me. Then go on. Just like that, parents sometimes allow their babies, their children to play, freely play. Always parents don't try to control their child only within their fold, within their embrace and control. Just let them free to play. In the playground, sometimes they will fall. During their play, everything is not going so nicely and smoothly and so happily. Sometimes they will fall on ground, they will learn they will learn things through lessons, learn lessons of life, experience different things, good and bad, happiness and some quarreling between friends. And that's how it goes on. They grow. So it's a process of growing up. Okay, in this way. So similarly, in the field of our spiritual sadhana, higher spiritual sadhana, field of the life of cultivations, divine cultivations of life of devotional service in relation to Lord. Sometimes, like in the playground, we learn things. But through play, some point the players, they realize how to have fair play and enjoy happiness from the play, not getting involved in foul plays. So we also learn in our lives through hard ways. But we can convert all those learning, we can utilize those educations, experience through learning in a positive way. That's how the great lives do. They even turn their negative experiences into positive capitals and apply in their lives for positive building, for positive developments. Okay, instead of always lamenting and being so unhappy and sad and hopeless. Why some negative things came in my life and happened? No, that's the sign. That's the way of the great lives. Because the power of positive truth is much greater than the negative truths. It can be at some point. When we are in the zone, we are in the domain, we are in the area of the positive truths, evil truths don't have access there. Okay, it is therefore it's transcendental. It's totally transcendental to all the beyond all the evil influences. So that is our goal. That is our world divine. Any question related or unrelated to these topics? I can go on and on because the nature of talking about Supreme Lord, Supreme Infinite Divine Truth, also infinite. Innumerable aspects, prospects are there. So if any of you has any relevant or unrelated question, can please. You know other aspects of Syamananda Prabhu, I can also hear from you.
So much I read. One thing I also was reading that after their time together under the tutelage of Jiva Swami, they went several places. Like Narottam went to Katuri. He had that beautiful festival. I think Srinivas went to Bengal. And I think Syamananda went to Puri, to Orissa. And what I was reading, that at the time that he appeared, Gaudiya Vaishnavism was not so strong in Orissa. Mahaprabhu's appearance was very strong, and then it waned. But Syamananda was like, brought it back and
kind of revived it
in a very
after Mahaprabhu. Yes, yes, it was true. So his preaching field was closely connected with Orissa region, some part of South India, because Orissa, South India border close, but on the Orissa area, and also promoted, yes, Mahaprabhu's mood, Mahaprabhu's feelings, unified with Lord Jagannatha consciousness naturally. And the way Syamananda's mood was, the way Syamananda Prabhu also related to Lord Jagannatha, purely following the mood of Mahaprabhu. Because Mahaprabhu always, almost all the time, he related with Lord Jagannatha as Brajendra Nandana Krishna, Lord Krishna of Braja Vrindavana, not as Krishna of Dwaraka in Puri. That was the special way of Mahaprabhu's relating with Jagannatha, viewing, having darshan of Jagannatha always as Muralidhara, Krishna of Vrindavana, who is engaged in playing his flute and relishing the rasa of Srimati Radhika, relishing the madhurja rasa, love of Srimati Radhika for him, Rasanandi Radha, Sarasa, Vapuralingana Sukho, in this way. So Syamananda Prabhu's mood was totally in that, unified with the mood, following that higher, inner madhurja rasa mood of Mahaprabhu in relation to Jagannatha. He promoted that mood of Mahaprabhu. Madhurja rasa mood of Mahaprabhu more and more, that culture, and blessed the people, blessed the devotees, disciples with that gift, with that divine wealth. And therefore we find most of the followers of disciples of Syamananda Prabhu is more Oriya based, Orisha. So Bengal mood and Orisha mood, Bengal mood of Gaura Nityananda Bhajana and Orishi mood of Jagannatha Bhajana, in the mood, even if in harmony with the mood of Mahaprabhu, became manifested in the activities, life activities of Srila Syamananda Prabhu. He spread that blessings with the blessings of, as you say, Sri Jiva Goswami Prabhu and also some other acharyas of the 6 Goswamis. But it is not well known whom he met, whether he met all the 6 Goswamis or not, because many parts of the activities of the Parshadas, associates of, at least some parts, some fields of the activities of the associates of Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Radha Krishna remain unknown, silent, yet to be discovered. So it is not clearly proven that whether there was meeting between all 6 Goswamis and Syamananda Prabhu. And he was later on, but Jiva Goswami was still there, yes. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Prabhu Raghunath, they might have disappeared or might be very last part, but they were living in Vrindavana. 6 Goswamis were mostly living in Vrindavana. But they came, they were in this area. Although they also went to Vrindavana, but they were mostly the preaching field in the Gaura Desa area. Gaura Desa. So, yes, he had association of Jiva Goswami Prabhu, maybe Gopala Bhatta, so it is yet to be discovered. Sometimes some descriptions are given by some devotees in a slightly different way about some acharyas. Okay, there's slightly distinct descriptions by different writers, different, speakers. Gaur Hari Bol, Jai Srila Syamananda Prabhu ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa, Paramhamsa Thakur Srila Syamananda Prabhu ki Jai. All glories to his divine appearance. Avirbhav Maha Mahotsav ki Jai. Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Sri Baladeva's Rasha Jatra Mahotsav. Sri Krishna's Basanta Rasha Mahotsav ki Jai. So should I briefly touch on Baladev's Rasha? Baladeva's Rasha Jatra festival today.
Prabhuji, can I ask a short question about Syamananda Prabhu?
Yes.
That you were describing how his forehead got blessed by Radhika's
anklets, yes. Nupur or Nupur.
Yes. How you say
Nupur, we call Nupur.
Yes, anklets.
Ankle.
And that he was basically accepted to Radharani's group of close servants when that happened.
Yes.
And his svarupa changed because of that, or his svarupa was just discovered by, or he just realized his through that realization.
Yes, he was definitely included. Okay, answering to your first part of question, he was definitely included in Srimati Radha Thakurani's group. Okay, as C. Okay, as C, as in his svarupa form, divine self, eternal divine form, in the group of Srimati Radha Thakurani. So how he was included as C, okay, it is described in different ways, but he was included in that group, in the direct service of Srimati Radharani, in the group of some gopis, okay, group of manjaris, because there are many manjaris. Apart from Ashtamanjaris, there are many others whose names are not described, not found yet. Some are described, some not yet. In the Manjari group, Brajagopis group. And the svarupa he received as he was, it has to be realized in a very special way that he already had that notion on the svarupa level in the beginning, like in a very seed form, okay, some notion, but that got manifested by special sweet will of Srimati Radharani, special grace, mercy of Srimati Radharani, what he already had in very dormant way, in very marginal or potential form of having that Madhurya Rasa Sarupa in Srimati Radharani's group. But it was not yet validated, in potential form, not yet validated in reality. That she received, okay, by the power of this, by the grant of this special sweet will of Srimati Radha Thakurani, okay, granted towards him as her. So in that way you can say it was changed or created, okay, newly given. But at the same time it was not completely newly given, and through Achinta Bheda, through the character of simultaneous oneness and distinctions, okay, and which is not conceivable in completion, which cannot be conceived fully how it happens. So therefore, both aspects played there. Okay, that he already had that Sarupa Dasha, that Sarupa in the potential form, a very subtle way, that was re-manifested by the special will of Srimati Radha Thakurani, special, gracious will of Srimati Radharani, rewarded. He was blessed with that. But it was given in such a developed way, in blossomed, okay, in the blossomed form by Srimati Radharani. So it can be understood as that it is newly given, as if it was, mostly it was newly given, newly created, new entrance given. Okay, so it has to be understood in a harmonious way between what he had, eternal divine self as prospect, potential way. Same thing with some newer change, wonderful change from other level of rasa, dasha rasa, shakha rasa, Srimati Radharani brought it, okay, directly blessed it with the Madhurya Rasa identity, okay, on that Sarupa level. So that was added, newly given by Srimati Radhika in full blossomed form. Something we have to understand, why I'm saying it has to be understood in both ways, through non-difference and different. Okay, why? Because on the transcendental plane of the Leela, I repeat, on the higher transcendental plane of the perfection of the Leela of Radha Krishna, things are, truths are also interrelated, okay, interwoven. They cannot be completely separated from each other. So intimately interrelated from past, present, future. The conception of the times of their lila, conceptions of the relationship between different aspects of the lila's activities. So interwoven, interrelated. They are separate, at the same time they are not separate. Different, at the same time non-different. You know, and this is, ultimately this is inconceivable. We cannot fully conceive it, cannot fully comprehend it. We cannot judge it in a limitedly calculative way like we do in the mundane objective plane. Oh, this is separate, this is together, this is separate. It's not, it doesn't happen like that on that plane of perfection, because everything is related. Even it has some separate identity aspect, but still in interrelationship. So separated identity needs to be understood in interrelationship, non-different interrelationship. Okay? And all that oneness of through interrelationship also needs to be understood, felt, okay, in aspect of separation, in how to say in English, difficult to express through language. Okay, their oneness, the character of oneness, non-distinction, also needs to be realized in relation to the character of distinctness. Okay, different. So both are happening simultaneously together. Oneness and distinctions, difference and non-difference. And how it is happening, active together, cannot be fully comprehended by human brain, limited knowledge. No, it's beyond calculation. We just know it happens. How it happens, don't try to know. You cannot comprehend. It's inconceivable. You know? It is so huge, so big, so beyond our calculative, limited knowledge or conceiving ability. Therefore, Mahaprabhu laid a special stress on that principle of achinta bheda bhedam. Achinta bheda bheda character. The character of the transcendental character of the Leela of the Lord is that of simultaneous oneness and distinctions, and which is inconceivable. So, back to the point. So following through the or realizing through the principles, system of achinta bheda bheda, Syamananda's svarupa on that plane was manifested. Okay, in relation to his potential svarupa, unmanifested svarupa. At the same time, it was newly given in a newly blossomed form. He was blessed with, she was blessed with. So both ways are true. But the truth that he was newly blessed with, that svarupa, newly given that, blessed with that svarupa, is more prominent. Okay. I repeat, the truth, reality that he was blessed, that svarupa, Madhurya Rasa svarupa by Srimati Radharani in a special way, okay, given, is more prominent there, instead of what he had in potential form. Okay. Because sweet will of divine couple can also bring about change. They reserve that right. because it is ever old, at the same time can manifest ever new way. Permanent, eternally flowing, at the same time inexplicable, in inexplicable, wonderful way, the eternal truth also manifesting in new to newer, newest way, Nabo Nabo Nabayoman, described by the scripture as Nabo Nabo Nabayoman. How it is at the same time, it is ever flowing, it is existing forever in its eternal way. At the same time, it is manifesting in a newer, newest way. All together happening simultaneously cannot be fully comprehended, cannot be conceived. But both aspects are happening. Ever oldness, everlasting, ever existing aspect of the Leela, and ever new, ever fresh aspects of the same Leela, both happening simultaneously together. When something is flowing, then some part of that flow is static, some part of it is dynamic. That's how the flow is created. So naturally, whole flow cannot be static, then it's not a flow anymore. And all the parts of the flow always dynamic, then flow could not even begin. There would be no source of the flow. Okay? If something was not there, only coming new, then flow could not even start because something was missing in the beginning. So both have to be there. A flow, something eternally flowing, has to contain both aspects. Something has already been there since the beginning, from time immemorial, or since the time unknown. Already there in eternity. Eternity means it has began. It has already began in the farthest past, we can imagine, or beyond imagination, which is without beginning. It's a limitation of language, I have to express that way. I repeat, eternity, eternal flow means which has already begun on the stage of non-beginnings. My words sound self-contradictory, but it's not self-contradictory. It is trying to express some reality which is transcending all calculations of beginning and non-beginning, These all happen on the mundane world. Our calculation makes the difference, mathematical calculation. But where the truth is existing as it is in everlasting, ever-flowing way, there's no such calculative, judgment can be applied there. We cannot cut, we cannot do it. So it is what it is. So some truth going on in eternity means it is eternal. Eternal means it has no beginning or end. If something eternal has got its beginning, then it's no more eternal. Because at some time point it had to begin. Before that it was not there. So how could it be eternal? It has began. It was born at one point of the time in past. It was not before, so it was not eternal. And if that ends at some point, it's also not eternal, because it's ending, finished, period. No more eternal. Okay, because it died. Okay, it was born and it died also. Then it cannot be eternal. So eternal means infinite. Infinite means it is without beginning, without end. Similar way, eternal is one of the qualities of infinite. One of the characteristics of the infinite is known as eternity. Eternal. Going on, flowing with the infinite. Flowing with the infinite characteristics. It's not a characteristic. It's limitation of word and language. There cannot be any characteristic of eternal truth or infinite truth. Or maybe one characteristic which is super perfect, absolute, containing all the limited characteristics, all the special characteristics, all the individual, distinct characteristics, embracing within that one, perfect, infinite characteristic. Like if you can create one big, huge bucket which will contain all ocean water inside, then it is one bucket. Otherwise, innumerable buckets of water in the ocean. Like that. So back to the point. So something flowing, when the truth is active through eternity, all through eternity, it means it is without beginning and without end. What human brain cannot conceive about. Human brain can only conceive about something which is with beginning and with end. Through calculations, through some image process, they can imagine. Something which is without beginning and without end, it's not a something again, it's a limitation of language. Again and again saying, we have to express some way. Until and unless we express things in a more relative way, relative style, we cannot speak anything, we cannot imagine anything, we cannot feel anything, because here everything is being processed in a relative manner. Nothing can be realized in absolutely absolute way. Only relatively absolute way possible. But on the plane of perfection, in the world of perfection, every level is perfectly perfect, absolutely perfect. So without beginning, without end. So in that scope, it's not a scope again. I have to speak some way. See, it's not a scope again. It is what it is, but somehow I have to express, so you will understand what I mean. So within that scope of eternity, eternal flow, absolute flow of the absolute truth, beyond the time concepts, beyond the limited concepts of limited time, place, situations. Okay. Things, truths, have some sort of beginning. Without beginning, it means it is ever existent, without beginning, which is remanifesting also newer way, fresh way. Okay, so it's like in a flow, eternal absolute flow of the activities of the supreme absolute reality happening eternally, forever, without a beginning, but at the same time it's happening ever fresh, ever new ways. Okay, creating the flow. Within that infinite, maintaining the infinite character, question may arise, if something is new, fresh, how can it be infinite? Because something was not there, it's newly beginning, freshly beginning. So how can it be infinite? Yes, when something is beginning anew, nabo nabayoman, beginning fresh, it was not there. Just a moment ago it was not there, so it is not infinite, it was finite. But it's not that. This is the most wonderful, inconceivable character. That change, something changing within unchangeable truth. Change taking place in the lap of eternal unchanged principle. Okay? And unchanging principle, unchanging aspect is going on together with some new changes. Okay? So, things beginning within the non-beginning principle. Just as relative things are happening within the fold, again it's not fold, I have to say some way. All the relative happenings are accommodated within the absolute. If relative is a part of the absolute, it's not, see, relative is relative, absolute is absolute. So, although relative is not absolute, but still relative is the part of the absolute. Like a point in the space. A point in the space, infinite space. Suppose space is infinite. A point in the infinite space is not the whole space, is not the infinite space. Okay, it's a point. Okay. But still, the point of this space, while viewed, understood in relation to the whole infinite, it is not an individual point of this space. It is space. It is infinite. In connection with the whole infinite, as I am viewing a point of this space, it is this space, without separating the point of space from the real infinite space. But as we are trying to view it as a point, then it is different. Okay. This is the truth. Relative and absolute all together, viewed into oneness and also through distinctions. And it is simultaneous truth, and that is inconceivable, explained by Mahaprabhu. It cannot be fully comprehended by any limited knowledge and brain. It may appear to be self-contradictory, but actually it is not. It is appearing to be self-contradictory because of the limited human knowledge. Limited knowledge of the human being, which is so calculative. It cannot understand anything, cannot grasp of anything without calculations. Because of that, limited character, because of the character of the limited calculations, here we understand things in more separate, relative ways. We cannot understand things absolute. Because our realization is so calculative, is not absolutely absolute. Therefore, we cannot conceive absolute as absolute. We cannot conceive of absolute in absolute. Again, it's not manner. Again, it's not way, but I have to say, we cannot conceive the absolute in the absolute way. We can only conceive absolute in a relative sense, as much as we are able to. Therefore, it appears to be like self-contradictory. Doesn't make full sense. Or if it happens this way, it cannot happen that way. If it happens that way, it cannot simultaneously happen this way. It appears to be self-contradictory, but it's not that. What is self-contradictory? Both are related. Both are existent. Okay. Even two self-contradictory realities are existing together also in our life consciousness. Therefore, we can conceive. Therefore, we can say it is self-contradictory. Therefore, we can express, we can think, oh, it is self-contradictory because both aspects are existing together. They are not mixing together. But still, they are existing, but in self-contradiction. But we cannot deny their existences. Opposite existences, they are there. When the two opposites become one, no more opposites, they become complementary to each other. Two entities, but complementing to each other, supplementing each other. At some point, they promote union, harmony, instead of remaining self-contradictory. They change their characters. It happens in conceivable way. It's not a way again. I have to say, express. See our ways of expression. See our ways of language, expression, thought process. It is always relative. And we're trying to express about the absolute through our relative limitations of our language, words, thoughts, and all. Therefore, Mahaprabhu said, don't try to conceive of everything. You are not in a position, you are not at all in a position of judging the supreme absolute reality by your limited human calculations. You will be totally wrong. So simply know this is happening in this way. Okay? It's all simultaneously one and distinct. And how it is happening? Inconceivable. You can only get some idea towards that, but you cannot fully comprehend it. Inconceivable. So much remains inconceived by you. Just as we understand so many things, so much realities of this universe, infinite universe, or creation, or life consciousness, remains unknown by us compared to the quantity known by us. Isn't it? We easily understand about the reality. So much of the realities simply remains unknown by us compared to the amount of quantity what known by us. We cannot realize of anything smaller than very smaller than us. Okay, we just understand through some mathematical calculation, some kind of intellectual imagination, something too small to us. We cannot also imagine something beyond our huge imagination, much bigger than us. We can only realize, directly experience of something in the middle. In the middle, okay, within certain range of our perception and experience, within certain limited range of our perception and experience, okay, we can understand things, not beyond, not below. Okay, if this light becomes too much, we cannot see this light. If light becomes too low, it is darkness to us. Animals can see. In the low light, which is darkness to us, animals can easily see through. It's not totally darkness to them. To us, darkness. When the light becomes too much, our eyes cannot take it. Because the range of the ability of seeing is so limited. Eyes cannot take it. It will all be dark, too much light. We can only see within a range. So we can see, this is one of the examples. For the sounds also, we cannot hear ultrasonic sound, cannot hear subsonic sound. We can only hear some sounds in between, within a range. Okay, so much sounds going on all through the universe, we cannot hear them. But through machines, through some mechanisms, we can catch those ultrasonic sounds, subsonic sounds. We have discovered, we could discover through some mechanisms, okay, science mechanisms, which also followed the discovery of higher natural laws. Science is nothing but discovering the higher and finer natural laws of nature, which are not directly perceived always. But still, they are active. Still, they are realities. They are subtle realities. There are different two characters of the realities, that of objective nature, subjective nature. They are different from each other. At the same time, they are so interrelated from each other, we cannot differentiate, completely differentiate between subject and object. Between subjective realities and objective realities, we cannot make absolute differentiation. They are so interconnected. But because they also have some separate entity, therefore interconnection is being possible. If there would be just one, only subject or object, there will be no unification. Unity is being possible, interrelation being possible, because they also maintain their separate identities. But in so much interrelationship of oneness, existence, coexistence of oneness also there. So, I can give you many more examples. Many more examples. So we can only, back to the point, we can only perceive and experience things, reality, within a certain range, limited range, not beyond, not below. Okay. So how can we try to comprehend, to realize everything, the whole, absolute whole, by our human brain? Limited human brain. So Mahaprabhu just simply said, in a simple term, he said, don't try to conceive, it is inconceivable. Simply know it is happening. Simply know it is happening, how it is happening, why should it be happening like this, why should it not happen this way, not that way. Don't argue. Okay? It's beyond, it's transcending your ability. Even if the truth reveals in your realization, then only you can realize, otherwise you cannot conceive, fully conceive of it. You can partly conceive, but cannot fully conceive of it. And until and unless you can fully conceive of the whole reality, your judgment will be wrong. It will be partial. You cannot judge, you cannot understand properly because you cannot see the whole. You only see a part. According to your ability, you are seeing a part, and by that partial knowledge, you are trying to judge the whole, trying to understand and define the whole. How can it be? So, he simply said, inconceivable. So, is it clear now how the flow is happening in eternity, at the same time ever fresh, ever dynamic ways, both together simultaneously, in the aspect and character of the Leela of the Lord. Relative and absolute, relative ways and absolute ways of the Leela, both are combined. I can humbly remain here. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.